All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. My name is Rob Pontecorvo. I'd like to welcome you here to our first of several sessions on the new 4 through 8 GeoGebra math resources. Um, we are recording this session, so greeting everyone. Also, who is watching this recorded, we're going to try to make it as appropriate as possible to be live and recorded. So I will turn it over to our host for the evening. Here is Lebo Valencia.
Thank you, Rob. So good evening, everybody, and welcome. It is 9 p.m. for us. So thank you for us in the East Coast. So thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're excited to be hosting these webinars. We are so thankful that you're here tonight. And our goal tonight is to expose you or give you a little taste of the GeoGebra's latest resources in teaching number sense. And hopefully by the end of the webinar, you'll have enough of background to be able to explore and play around with the resources yourself. So if you, like during the webinar, if you have any questions, if something comes up, if you put it on the chat, Rob will be taking care of the chat. So if there's anything that you have in there, he might be able to answer a question. If not, there'll be time built into the webinar where we'll like stop and like answer some questions. All right. So let's get started. So on today's webinar, very first webinar, we'll be talking about number sense. So just to begin, if you could please introduce yourself in the chat, let us know what do you teach, where do you teach, and what is your Twitter handle if you have one. So again, on the chat, let us know what do you teach, where do you teach, and what's your Twitter handle if you have one. All right. Welcome, Renee.
Excellent. Math coach in Alberta. Great.
Nice.
Cool. STEM
faculty, higher education.
Consultant Ontario. Excellent. Welcome to all our friends from Canada. Great. Yeah.
Awesome.
Excellent. Hello, Texas. So the reason, the reason Lebo asks is because the resources, of course, go from grades 4 through 8 right now, the first round of released resources. So Lebo wants to try to focus on ones that might be of interest to you. It's great that there were so many math specialists and district math people there too, so they could really spread the word. And that's what we're looking for from everyone also, to help spread the word.
Oh, hi, Kristen. I know Kristen from Twitter. Thank you for joining us.
High school math teacher from British Columbia.
Nice. Awesome. So we are happy. We are excited that you're here tonight. And our goal as teachers is to give you something that you could take back to your classroom tomorrow and start playing with GeoGebra, start using the resources. We don't want to waste anybody's time, right, Rob?
Yep, that's why we're here for 30 minutes. We're going to give a general overview, and then we'll come back again exactly 1 month from now, right? Second Wednesday of the month, and we'll do it all over again for a different topic.
Excellent. All right. So after we get a chance to introduce ourselves, let me go into our agenda for tonight. So on tonight's webinar, we will be exploring the topic of number sense. Currently, as of like right now, because I just checked, we have over 105 resources. So the format of the webinar is we're going to be exploring, we're going to do a live exploration of some of these resources. And then we want to give you an opportunity to see what these resources look like from a teacher perspective and a student perspective. We want to give you some ideas on how you can use the resources as activations, like I do now to start class, exploration, practice, and also as a form of formative assessment for your classes, for your students. All right. So let me go into, all right. So now here's where the fun begins. So I'm going to go into right now into the GeoGebra website. So if you haven't been to GeoGebra, you go to geogebra.org. Once you are there, this is, Rob, you can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir. Yep. Looking good.
All right. So once you're there, this is what the GeoGebra main website looks like. I'm gonna bring to your attention right now that on the upper right corner, you see my picture. You might not see that if you don't have a GeoGebra account, which is okay, which is fine. We're gonna be able to access and explore the resources, even if you don't have a GeoGebra account. So I'm gonna scroll down. You have a lot of different resources, applets in here that are ready. But what our focus for tonight is to explore the GeoGebra Math resources. So you're gonna see it on the upper left, on the under feature resources. So right now, I'm gonna click in there, GeoGebra Math resources, and then it's gonna tell you a little bit about the resources. It's gonna tell you that it's intended for grades 4 through 8. I'm gonna tell you that I have a third grader and a pre-K girl at home. I use it with them. I also teach high school and college, and I use some of these resources with both my high school students and my college students. So even though it says 4 through 8, don't feel limited. Math is universal, and some of these resources really go from like kindergarten to college. So
It probably
you
pays
have
probably pays able to tell everyone that GeoGebra hasn't made a curriculum here. They're not prescribing a particular grade or a particular order. They're just giving you ballparks of resources that are based on skills that kids need to have in grades 4 through 8. And the teachers will get to decide, as always with GeoGebra, what they want to use when and with which students.
excellent. Thank you, Rob. And within this page, we're also going to see the types of resources that GeoGebra has. So we're going to have exploration resources. We'll make sure to explore like at least one of those, and also practice resources. So explorations are great for like when you're introducing a lesson. They're really, most of them are like hands-on activities for students. And the practice resources could serve for, practice, or also as a form of assessment. And then you have a couple of examples in here. So I want to bring you to the main website to explore the math resources that we have. So the resources are nicely organized into different topics. For today's webinar, we're going to be exploring number sense. And this is where I got the number from. You can see that it currently says that we have 105 resources for number sense. If you scroll down a little bit, you're going to see some highlighted resources. So I'm going to go in here and click on the number sense, because that's our objective for the night.
So let me point out also that that main page
Yes.
that you were just on can be found simply at geogebra.org/math. In case somebody wants to go directly to the link, they can just type in geogebra.org/math.
Perfect. Thank you, Rob. So I'm going to go now into number sense to show you some of the things that we have in there. So once you're there, you're going to see that the resources are nicely organized by grade levels, by topic. And then if you scroll down a little more, you're going to see some of the middle school resources. And then you have community resources as well. So because tonight we're exploring number sense, I wanted to bring to your attention let's do like one that is like elementary and one that is middle school. I recently, in the context of third grade with my daughter, who was doing place value. So I'm going to click on place value, and then you're going to have the resources for place value. And I want us to explore place value with thousands. All right, so you have some resources in here. So the one that we're exploring for the purpose of this webinar is place value. And I want to bring to your attention that notice how some of the resources have practice or say practice, and some of the resources say exploration. So we're going to click on exploration. And then at this point, I'm going to copy this link, and I'm going to put it on the chat for people. And then Rob, let me know if you're able to see it. So this is, give me a thumbs up. You got it. Very nice.
Yes, we have it. Yep, right. It's good.
Perfect. So you know that this was made by the GeoGebra team. The topic is place value. The intended grades are 4 to 5. Even though like I did this with my daughter who's in third grade, and this is an exploration type of resource. Now, the skill that we're practicing in here is using place value with thousands. So you're going to have some instructions on top. So our goal in here is to use this applet to create numbers using this applet. Let me bring this up. All right, so I'm going to make this full screen. Rob, can you still see my screen?
Looking good. Yep.
Perfect. All right. So let's take a look at this. And these resources, I got to tell you, they're very user-friendly for students, for teachers. Like as my daughter who's in third grade plays with this, it's very like easy to understand. It's very colorful. It's very inviting. So in my experience, students seem to like it and interact very well with them. So we're trying to create the number 3,650 by dragging the sliders. So I'm going to start with 1,000 and I'm going to go up. So I'm going to go up to 3,000 and notice as soon as I hit 3,000, the color changed to green. So that's an indication for students that they're doing something right. Now I'm going to go over to 100, to the hundreds, and I'm going to do the 600. And similar to the 1,000, once I hit 600, which is the number that I need, notice how it turns green, right? So if I were to keep going, it's going to keep it purple. And then if I do 600, it's going to make it green. And then for the tens, I need 50. So I'm going to do 20, 30, 40, 50. And then that is it. At this point, I am ready because my ones is 0. So notice how as soon as students complete that, on the bottom, they get a check mark that says correct. So if once students know that they got it right, they can attempt another question. They could do this forever. Like I have my daughter practice this. She's doing up to like the hundreds, but she's already doing this, Rob. She's already doing this in the context of GeoGebra, playing at home and getting ready for school. And then if you are playing with this right now, let me put the Rob, could you just resend the link? I think we just got somebody coming in. So like we're gonna send you this link so you could play with it. You could try another, and then you could just build another number. So let me see. So try this on your own. If you have any questions about this particular resource at this point, let us know. We're happy to help you. So notice how if you don't have the right amount, the color is purple. Once I do 100, it turns green. And then I have 0 tens. And then I have 4 1s. So I'm going to go to 4. And then it should turn into green. And then it gives you immediate feedback. How powerful is that for our students to know that, okay, I did this right, and now I can try another. This type of resource is what we call an exploration resource. So like if students are learning about like place value, right? It's very visual, it's very inviting, and the sliders are very, like, in my opinion, they're very user-friendly for students. They like bring them up and down, and then they match it to the correct number. Rob, I don't know if there's anything that you want to add.
Yes. What I like also is the way it decomposes the number up top, and it explains to the students that number is 6,000, it's 100, and it's 4 altogether, making 6,104, right? So it kind of really, builds and gives them even more information than they need to help them explore and understand. That's the idea. Great.
Thank you, Rob. See, my camera was there, so I was covering that. I'm so happy you told me. It's like my camera was there, so I couldn't see it. So like another thing that is powerful, right? When students like in the context of like third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, when students are doing this, it's so important for them to like be able to expand, like write the number in expanded form. And now think about everything that is happening in this resource. They're seeing like a visual representation of 6,104. And if you noted for the thousands, we are doing some 3D, right? Like a 3D visualization of the number, and then they put it all together with the equation on top. And again, they can do this forever. Also, notice how we just sent you the link and you were able to play with this resource. So if you open this resource on your smartboard in class or at home with your kids, they'll be able to play with it. If you share it with your LMS, with Google Classroom, with Canvas, Schoology, whatever you're using, all you need is to have the link, send it to them. I can tell you, I allow my daughter to play with this. It's never led into like any weird link or any promotion. It's safe for students to use. I don't know if there's anything that you want to add, Rob.
No, just that, as always, GeoGebra takes care of all student privacy. They take care of privacy agreements. So, similar to, like you said, these resources are all created by GeoGebra, and they're, tested and proven to be, really, helpful for kids in the classroom. Let's take a look at a different resource. You want to move on?
All right. So now let me exit my full screen mode, and now let me go back. All right, so now let's take a look at another type of resource. So I'm going to go back again within the world of number sense, because that's today's main goal. So if whatever you're teaching right now, whatever you're teaching this week, whatever you're teaching tomorrow, take a look at what we have in here, because chances are you're going to find something that you could use as an activation, like to start class, to finalize class, to like have students practice in a different way. There is room for everything in class. Like there is room for like practice with pencil and paper. The students, in my opinion, like this generation of students, they're very comfortable with technology, and it doesn't take away from the math. The math is as rigorous as they will do on paper. So let me now show you. I think I wanted to show exponents. So I'm going to click on exponents, and then within exponents, I want to show you, where is it? Simplifying expressions. So notice, this type of resource says practice. So the first one that we did with the place value, that was an exploration. This one is now practice, and it is intended for grades 6 through 8. So I'm going to click on this one. I'm not going to send you the link yet. Just be patient with me. We have a little surprise for you. So the author, you can see that this was created by the GeoGebra team. The topic is exponents. This is the type of resource that is practice. There's only two. There is exploration and there is practice, and they're very easy to tell apart because they're labeled. So like on this one, we have simplified the expression by showing only positive exponents. So in here, students will play with this, right? So we have dg to the -2. I'm going to keep the d on the top, and then I'm going to bring the g, since it has a negative power, I'm going to bring it down to the denominator, and then I can click on check. And then notice it tells me here number correct 1, because I just completed one question correctly. And then I can, similar to my exploration, now I can do as many problems as I want. So what we wanted to do for this one, instead of just giving you the link, we want you to experience this as a student. So before I show you the next thing, I just want to bring to your attention one more time that right now I'm signing into my GeoGebra account. So you don't need to have a GeoGebra account to be able to access and play with the resources. But if you want to use it, if you want to use GeoGebra Classroom, if you want to use it in classroom mode, then you do need an account so that GeoGebra can save it to your account. So right now, I just want to show you that I am logged into my account. So when I go in here, this is the resource that I was showing you, the practice resource. Notice how on the top, I have assigned to. So we have an option for Google Classroom, and we can also turn this into a GeoGebra lesson. So when you click in there, it's going to turn that resource, that practice resource, into a GeoGebra lesson. So at this point, like you could call this, I don't know, course 1 or period 1 or like webinar 1. Right? Whatever you want, and then you turn it into a lesson. So you just create it. I'm going to go in here because I had already done this. All right, so this is now my lesson. So this is what I see from the teacher's point of view. I'm going to copy this link, and I'm going to put it on the chat. And I'm also going to show you now, I'm going to make split my screen. This I all learned from Rob. Rob is the real rockstar here. All right, Rob, can you see like half and half of my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. So on the left side, that is your teacher dashboard, right? And then on the right side, if you click on the link that we sent you, this is what you get. So notice you can sign into your GeoGebra account if you have one, but you don't have to. So like I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna say Libo, right? To start, just to access the lesson. So I'm gonna click start, and notice what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go in here, and I might have to refresh it because I had it there for a long time, Rob. So I'm gonna refresh. Yep, oh, look at this. Now I have 4 students in the lesson. So you give that to your students. If your students tell you, oh, I don't have a GeoGebra account, you don't need a GeoGebra account. You just type in your name on the bottom part, and then you're able to log into the account. Now, as you start playing with this, like I noticed that Kathy, I hope you don't mind me picking on you. I'm just going to click on, you know what? Let me hide the names, Rob. Let me hide the names. So just call you student 1, student 2, student 3, and student 4. So I can see that student 2 already completed my task. So if I click on it, I can see that at this point, student 2, hashtag Kathy, has completed 2 questions correctly. So imagine like the possibilities for this. You could like easily send this to your students, put it on your LMS, and then let the students play with this. Notice how at this point I have 6 students, and let's say that this is your classroom. I can show names, and then I can say, hey, Rob, what are you doing? I see that you're on the computer, but you haven't started the activity. Now, I'm not going to do that. I'm probably going to go to Rob and say, hey, Rob, do you need help? Do you need help logging in? And then like, no, Mr. Valencia, I got it. Go away, please. I got it. I know what I'm doing. So you could see like that they're actually not just looking at a screen, but they're actually engaged on the activity. Now, let's say that you give them 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you feel that is okay for them to practice. And then you go and check and you say, you know what, Rob, it's been 10 minutes and you only completed one question. Like, do you need help? Do you need more support? So that way the students are like, oh, like he can keep track of what I'm doing, right? And then at the same time, let's say that somebody's sharing something, somebody's like struggling with something, you could see that on your teacher dashboard. And then if I were to like hide the names, you could also see the progress of the class as a whole. So I use this GeoGebra classroom all the time with my daughters at home, again, like pre-K, third grade, my high school students, and my college students. It's a great way to practice. It's very inviting. A lot of times I leave these applets open until like the day of the test so the students can go back and like practice anything that they would like to practice. So, and again, like this is 100% free. You don't need an account. Oh, let me show you something else. So right now, if I were, because I'm going to make this bigger one more time. And then Rob, I'm going to give you a chance to like add anything that you want. So right now I'm logging into my account. I already brought that to your attention. If I click on profile, I want to show you this. So right now, this is the lesson, right? I can see my lesson right there and then. Another advantage of having an account is that you're going to start, as you start using GeoGebra more and more, you're going to start coming across resources that you're like, oh my God, this will be great for like parallel lines. This will be great for optimization. So like if you have an account, you can create folders and then you start organizing things. For example, my elementary folder, I have things for my daughter, right? Where she's like playing with the cash register. She has the Powerpuff Girls, because who doesn't like that? So we have different resources that I found for her that are going to be helpful. So I will, as a teacher, I will encourage you to like create an account because it's like so convenient. Not only can you save the resources, but then you can also go and use GeoGebra in classroom mode while keeping track. Wait, I think I clicked on the wrong one. I think it's this one. While keeping track of your students. Rob, I don't know if you want to, there's anything that you want to add. I'm going to check the chat.
Couple of things I want to mention. I was checking the chat also. First, as far as creating accounts, remember, creating an account is completely free, and GeoGebra doesn't sell your information or anything like that. You really do like your students to create accounts using their school emails and stuff like that, because then their full school name comes up on your screen, not just the short names like we are printing here. So that was one thing I wanted to mention in the way of accounts. One thing I wanted to mention, and as far as the difference between Explore and Practice, is that Explore is so nice because there's no risk. You can't get anything wrong. There is no right or wrong with an Explore. It's just move stuff around and try it and see what happens. With a Practice, you could get something wrong, right? And it will keep track of how many you get right. But sometimes you just want your kids to get practice. Someone in the chat asked, will GeoGebra keep track of how many the students get wrong? And the answer there is quite simply no. GeoGebra only keeps track of how many the kids get right. They can get it wrong as many times as they want. That's okay. That's how they're going to learn. But when you are a teacher and you know that you told your kids, well, keep doing this until you get 5 correct, then you know once they've got like 5, they've kind of got it, right? They know what they're doing. So we don't worry about how many they got wrong. Getting things wrong is a pure and natural thing. It's okay. We want to know now that they can get them right. The last, let's see, yeah, that was it. Those 3. Let me go back and check the chat now. Is there a way to search for a lesson by state standard? Oh, that's a very good question. Is there a way to search by state standard? So GeoGebra was very careful to try to make these resources inclusive for everyone and not follow any particular state's order or even country's order, really. So all of the standards or all the resources are done by a standard that is just a basic, simple bullet of what a student might be expected to do in a math class. Now, you can search resources on GeoGebra's webpage. I think Lebo can go back and show you up on the top bar. There he is. There is a search bar, and you know you'll be getting a GeoGebra resource when you see the author is GeoGebra, right? So these are all community resources. And GeoGebra is also going to play with this website a little bit so that the GeoGebra created resources also will come up, and be noted right up on top. But right now, there's no way to search, not yet, the GeoGebra resources only to find resources that are particularly GeoGebra. The other thing you can do, Lebo, though, is up where it says place value, if you type next to it space GeoGebra, I think it might know that the author then is the GeoGebra team, or even if you put GeoGebra team, and now you could see you're getting some GeoGebra content, right? Look at that. There we go. So the way I search for GeoGebra content is I include the name either GeoGebra content team or GeoGebra in there, and it will narrow the search to make those hits come up first. So Kathy, I think that might answer your questions about searching. Yes. And set to a standard particular? No, purposely not.
Mhm.
The idea is this also, Libra. It's important to remember. GeoGebra doesn't try to tell you what to teach, when to teach it, or how to teach it. They just give you a whole bunch of resources to use whenever you want, right? That's the idea. So they did not make them particular to any state or region standards. But that's a great, great question. Lebo,
Right.
I think, we've only got 3 minutes left.
Yeah, I want to go back to. All right, so we kind of.
Well, I was
Go ahead.
hoping you could explain what's your vision on the different ways teachers might want to use these resources in an actual classroom lesson. In other words,
depending on what you're teaching. So I feel like there's something for everybody, whether it's elementary, middle school, high school, college. I'm pretty confident that there's something that you could find in GeoGebra that you could use on your lessons. I use it a lot for like exploration. When students are doing something for the first time, or I might give them a little intro to something, and then I let them play with GeoGebra to come up, like to build their knowledge, to make connections to something that they have already done. It's very interactive, it's very user-friendly. Students can do it on a computer, students can do it on an iPad, on a smart board, even on a cell phone, even though like it might be smaller, but they can access it in different ways. And it's very user-friendly for students. So in terms of like exploration, practice, assessment, GeoGebra is a fantastic tool.
So could I use maybe a practice exercise like as an exit ticket?
I've done that. Like even during observations. So you have GeoGebra, you share the link at the end, and then you have the immediate feedback of like where the class stands. It also can help you guide your instruction, right? Like they're getting something wrong, you get immediate feedback, and then you know, okay, I need to revisit this concept.
So sometimes you use it just in the middle of the lesson also as a check-in, as a formative feedback to see how they're doing.
Right, sometimes you start.
How about as an opener? In other words, as a warm-up, as the kids are coming in?
Yeah, as an activation. Sometimes they come in. I usually have to send them an email, a reminder, like bring a charged device for class tomorrow. They come in, and there is the code. So they know to go to geogebra.org/classroom, type in the code, and then there is our activation for the day.
Cool.
Also during review time, like if you're trying to like review a concept, review for a big test, for like a unit test, I usually put like all the GeoGebra applets that I've used in that unit together into a GeoGebra book, and then they can like play with it to get ready for their assessment.
Okay, Lebo, we have time for one more question that's up in the chat, I think, and it's a good one. Is there a way to make a collection of these activities so that you can keep them all together and sort them and build a folder? Yes, or is Lebo, while I'm talking, if you want to just go and show your folders and stuff. So tonight, in just 30 minutes, Lebo is just trying to expose us to these resources. He's not really training us on how to use them. But if you want training or you want to talk to someone about training, you could email office@geogebra.org, right? office@geogebra.org. But really, yes, Kathy, the answer to your question is yes. Basically, you could make folders like Lebo is showing. He's got a couple of different folders for all of his different classes. Look at that. And he saves the resources that he likes in those folders. And often teachers will save an original version of the resource. So like the one that they would keep in their file cabinet, right? Their blueprint master. And they also save the ones that their kids did. So like if Lebo ended us with an exit ticket, he could go back and look and see how we did tonight while he's at home watching, TV. He can look and see how his particular class did. So yes, there's a way to organize and there's a way to save and all of that good stuff. Also, can you show everyone the homepage website where they can see the tutorials down if they scroll down? If they scroll down, it says tutorials, too high. too far around.
Sorry.
Yep, there it is.
Oh,
And I would click on
there you go.
show all. Show all is blue.
Got it. I got it. There you
And
go.
these are all the different tutorials to how to use all the different pieces of GeoGebra. Kathy, what you were talking about in particular is GeoGebra Classroom. So you would look up the tutorial for GeoGebra Classroom. All right. Liba, we have 9:31. I think you might want to wrap it up.
Oh, there you go. So let me go and show. So, our next webinar will be taking place on second Wednesday of the month. So that will be November 8th, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Is that right, Rob?
Yep, second Wednesday of the month. So go ahead, you keep talking and I'll look on the calendar.
So I'm pretty sure it's the second one. So it is November 8th at 9 p.m.
Yes,
and
that's correct.
You would
November 8th.
like a copy of this particular presentation. So I understand that our goal is to like save this recording and put it on the GeoGebra YouTube channel. But if you would like a copy of this particular presentation, you can use this QR code. I'm also like, you can also reach out to GeoGebra, reach out to Rob or myself. I'm going to leave. I'm pretty active on Twitter. I'll leave you my Twitter handle in there. If you like tag me on a question or like send me a message, if there's anything that I can do, I'll help you. If I don't know the answer, then I'll try to like find an answer for you.
All right. So Libo, I'm going to cut you short. We were a little bit over. I'm going to tell everyone, thank you for coming. Please come back again next month and please spread the word. Because that's the idea. The idea is to get your questions answered. Anybody can watch this on video and they'll get a lot out of it. That's awesome. But if they're here live in person like you are, we can focus on your questions in particular. So please invite a friend to join next month's webinars also. All right. Anything else, Libo?
I think we're good. Thank you so much for coming. I hope that tomorrow you get to use GeoGebra.
Thank you. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you. Have a good night.